Panic attacks and feeling anxious are not the problem. The problem is how we treat them. It starts when we try to control how we're feeling and get rid of how we're feeling. I'm Kate, and I'm the owner of this practice, Renee Restorative Counseling, and I'm here to help you learn how to drop the resistance and no longer fight so hard to control your anxiety. If you're here, then there's a good chance that you have tried to manage these symptoms with those coping techniques and, deep breathing, grounding skills, all those things when feeling really anxious. Or maybe you avoid and try to just avoid all triggers of the anxiety, things that can cause panic, and just, maybe life has really shrunk because you're just kind of avoiding anything that can trigger it. But if you're here, then there's a good chance that those things haven't really worked for you, or they've worked in small moments, or for a little bit, or in the height of feeling maybe really anxious, whatever it may be, but you're still living, a shrunken life, and you're ready to actually recover and heal from panic attacks and anxiety, and not just be bracing for the next one and hoping that your coping skills will work the next time you feel anxious and off. Panicking about panic or feeling anxious and worrying about feeling anxiety just makes it worse. So what we do instead is welcome it in. Drop the control, drop your resistance to feeling it, stop trying to control how you're feeling or when it's going to happen, and you get really good at learning how to accept and allow how you're feeling. Once you do this and practice it more, your mind learns that it doesn't have to fear how it's feeling, how the body's feeling when it's anxious or when it's having a panic attack. And therefore, it kind of just drops its fear and no longer freaks you out as much, and you can go back to living. Recovering from anxiety disorders and panic attacks in this specific context has nothing to do with not feeling anxious or not having a panic attack. You will still have panic attacks or anxiety, or maybe you won't, but either way, it doesn't matter, because it's all about what you do when you do experience anxiety or a panic attack. It's not, the goal is not to get rid of how you're feeling. The goal is to accept it and allow it to be there because it's safe to, and to continue on living your life while feeling how you're feeling, because you're not giving so much time and attention and energy to the anxious thoughts and to the panic attacks like you might be right now. So in our work together, we're going to learn how to do kind of the opposite of what your body's automatic response has been most likely when feeling anxious, which is, trying to fix the anxiety, figure out where it's coming from, get rid of it, control it, try to have certainty about it. When is it going to happen next? What can I do when it happens to get rid of it and calm down? We kind of just drop all of that and let it all be. That can be a really scary thing and really hard to do, and it can take more time than just fighting against the anxiety or trying to avoid anxiety, and maybe that works here and there, but ultimately it keeps you stuck. And this will help you to actually be unstuck and be able to live life. And maybe you still have panic attacks or feel anxious at times, but you just don't really care anymore because it's not scary to you anymore. And it actually goes away more quickly. Your body regulates faster when you just let it be versus try to interfere and fight it off. This goes for any type of anxiety in this context where it's an irrational fear, a phobia, a fear of how you're actually feeling on the inside when you're anxious, not just the external experience that makes you feel anxious. That's kind of secondary now. It's more about, how you're feeling on the inside. You don't want to feel the panic, feel the anxiety, have the thought. When that becomes what you're afraid of, how you're actually feeling, that's where we do this work and where it can actually help with real recovery. Maybe you've never had an actual panic attack, or you just feel really anxious most days and on edge, but it's never fully, manifested into an anxiety or panic attack, and you just feel really off. Or maybe there's certain situations you avoid, certain thoughts that freak you out, physical sensations that scare you that, again, are not inherently dangerous, but your mind has just automatically labeled them as dangerous, and now you feel an avoidance and fear them at all times. For any of those things, this is what we work with here. We'll use evidence-based therapy modalities like ACT and CBT. I'm also trained in EMDR to work on trauma pieces if that comes up, and those are the things we'll do to really help with learning these skills to drop control. It's all about dropping control. Of trying to control your anxiety, control how you're feeling, control when you'll feel it. And it's exhausting to do that all the time. So this is about dropping that so you can get back to life and not worry so much about worrying or worry so much about how you're going to feel. So if you're interested in that work, then you can click on the button below this video to schedule a free consultation. All sessions are virtual, and I'm able to see clients virtually in Indiana, Michigan, Maryland, DC, and Virginia. Or you can send me an email, which is also listed at the bottom of this page if you want to connect with me that way. Feel free to look at the rest of the website, the other blogs, videos, resources for materials to help you with, this area of panic attacks, anxiety, if you're struggling with that. And yeah, I look forward to working together.